Abstract brainwaves, game genie in the beanie. We ain't on the same stage, leveled up. The epitome of technique, can't survive in my current thought.
Other yellow hat guy here, back with another video. And last video I talked about, or maybe a couple videos, but the last one specifically I mentioned RNG. What is RNG? It's just basically, well, I don't know what it stands for, so let's look it up. Alexa, what is RNG?
Syracuse football is ranked 7th in the Atlantic Division of the ACC at 2-2. They are not ranked in the AP, CFP, or coaches poll.
Okay, so evidently Alexa doesn't know what it means either, but it's random number generator, okay? So, what...
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Alexa, shut up. So, what that essentially means is there's a random generated number, or, yeah.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Alexa, stop talking. It's a random number generator, or you could say random number, whatever, but RNG essentially is this person gets a shiny over this person. This person gets, I don't know how many shinies a month, a year, a week, a day in some cases. Now, why is any of this even being brought up? Well, first and foremost, no real gameplay in this, so if you're looking for gameplay, the next video will have that. We're in the midst of an event right now with the United Nations stuff going on. They've got the shirts and, there's a couple of new shinies. We'll talk about that in the next video, but I wanted to get this one out of the way because I kept teasing it for a while. When you look in the game, there's a couple of things that hint at whether or not the game is going to be favored in your direction. When you look in the shop, there's always been these boxes. Now, when those boxes first appeared, it was like, okay, this is only going to be during certain events, and then they go away, period. It was like that initially, I would say like a year or so ago, whenever they started doing those. Maybe it was 2 years. I don't know. I don't remember. But the boxes are a staple now. They change different formats, but there's always boxes in the shop now. It's just like, hey, if we keep telling them stuff is on sale, people will buy. So when you look at things like incubators, 200 coins, but when you go into something like these boxes, hey, 480 coins, you get 2 incubators, 2 passes, 2 star pieces. Not the best deal, but that's a lot more efficient than just paying for 2 super incubators for 400 coins, right? So you see where I'm going here? The more that you're spending, the better your chances are of hatching these eggs, which give you shinies. Now, we could say that that's going to be fact, just law of averages. If I play 3 times a week, but Jackson Simmons or Sermons plays every day, he's going to get more shinies than me because odds are chance favors the prepared mind, right? Quote from a Spider-Man comic book, believe it or not. That being said, I also feel like maybe, just maybe, there's code that says, hey, this person's spending more cash on the game. They should get more shinies. But is there really any evidence to that? How can we look into that? Does Niantic keep track of that? Well, I don't have an answer for that, unfortunately. But what I do know is this. They also track when you don't play the game. Yes, if you don't play the game for like a month or 2, they'll start offering you, hey, here's a free incubator to come back. What you notice is the accounts that are not high level or not really there or not really as active, they seem to get the shinies more than those who play every day constantly. So there's 2 different factors there. You play every day constantly, but you're spending money, you've got similar chances as those who don't play often encountering these shinies. Now, does that mean they get the same shinies? No. You play casually, you touch a Centret, your chances of getting the shiny might be higher than those who play all the time and still spend money and don't get it. That person might have to, touch 40 Centrets before they get the shiny one, whereas this person touched 2 or 3 and get it. So that's how it appears to be. I know a lot of people have questions like, how does this work this way? For example, we've got a lady who is level 32, just started playing 2 or 3 months ago. Yes. They made the game so available not being the best word, but so user-friendly now that with the addition of getting experience from friendships and just, PvP and all these little things that weren't there in the beginning, you can build up your level really quick. You start a new account and you've got these legendaries, which weren't there when most of us who started out day one, or I should say weren't there day one for any of us. When we started playing this game, you start doing those legendary battles with some lucky eggs and they start doing these jumpstart events. You can get to level 20 like that. And with all those additional things I just mentioned, the friendships and all that, it's a no-brainer if you played all the time. And they've got 4 generations of Pokemon now, not just 1, 4 generations. So what does that mean? That means if you just started playing today, you've got 4 generations worth of Pokemon. Over 500 Pokemon out that you get over 600 XP, 660 XP just without a lucky egg for catching each one. So if you just, got through a couple of legendary raids and then built up enough levels to get more lucky eggs and spent and let's say $10 worth of coins to get one of these special boxes, ultra boxes or whatever, you're going to level up like that. You're going to have lucky eggs on deck. You're going to be able to trade with people and all that stuff to get the newest Pokemon and get to level 40 in 6 months. Whereas it took a lot of people maybe a year or 2 years. So that's not me hating or disagreeing with any of that. That's just pointing out what it is. So, look at this adventure box. 13 super incubators. So your chances of hatching a whole bunch of stuff. And then you get the 2 incubators on top of that. Your chances of getting these shinies from these egg hatches just speed up just like that. Now, is there some luck in it? You got to be at the right place at the right time. I think traditionally in Pokemon Go, they're basing a lot of it off of the Pokemon games from the Game Boy eras, right? So in those eras, you essentially touched, the same Pokemon or encountered the same Pokemon again and again and again. It increased your chance of getting a shiny. Like it's 1 in 500 or something like that in those games. Obviously, they're not expecting you to touch 500 and Go. They don't have 500 locally in your area, but that appears to be what happens. Now, this video is going to be dated some because they've recently changed the nesting of Pokemon. So what does that really even mean? What it means is in the past, I could go around in my area and maybe see no Pokemon. But right now, I still don't see any Pokemon. But what I mean is this. I would see maybe 1 or 2 a day pop up near me. Now it's like 1 or 2 per hour where I'm sitting at, outside my house. So other areas that are more densely populated, more cell phone activity, they've either had an increase or reduction in Pokemon spawn. So a lot of you who are in rural areas or at home, you may get an increase. And some of you that you might be at work and there's a lot of spawns because you work at like a gas station or a grocery store or something like that, there might be a decrease there. So they've mixed it up and that's made some people angry, made some people happy. They can't please everybody, but mixing it up is what they should do. I don't know if they should have went that far with it, but that affects the RNG somewhat right there as well. So let me know what you guys think of that. We had a guy, like I said, who got a shiny every day for like 2 to 3 weeks, it seemed like. It got to the point where it was like, oh, if he doesn't get a shiny, we're not surprised. So that changes things up for him. People were accusing him of cheating some way or somehow. It's like, no, man, you can't say that because somebody's at a job that gives them flexibility of hey, I want $5 on pump 3. Meanwhile, they're allowed to have their phone there on their counter and catch Pokemon or have their Gacha or Pokemon Go Plus or whatever. That's not cheating. That's just they've got a job that allows them to do that. And when they leave that job, they're going to play more Pokemon. They're going to get out and hit these raids. More power to them. So that's my thought. That's my theory. I do think that the more that you spend, that creates an opportunity for Niantic to say, hey, we should reward this person. I don't have factual proof that says that, but I do know that when they see that you're not playing, they do take note of that and reward you. So why wouldn't they do that the other way around? Why would they not say, hey, this person is contributing more financially? Let's, curb the increase of shinies. I'm not saying they say the next one is going to be shiny for you because you've bought 2 boxes this week. But I do think they say, hey, we do keep track of the people who are spending more, so the odds of the Pokemon being shiny might be reduced from, hey, 1 in 25 to maybe 1 in 10. Again, just my thought and to surmise, again, the more that you are buying these boxes that have incubators and eggs, it makes sense that you're going to have all 9 of your incubators moving, whereas a person who doesn't is maybe only going to have 2 or 3. Or maybe they buy 1 box and you've bought 3 in the past month and you were able to hatch, 12 eggs in your job that allows you to be stationary. And this other person was only, this other person was able to, hatch 36 eggs because they got a job that allows them to move around back and forth. You just never really know how things are going to play out with your movement, but you do know that with your spending, that's always going to play a factor too. I would like to think that if you're able to move and hatch 3 incubators, you're still not going to hatch as much as somebody who's got, 12 incubators. And even though they're moving slower than you, they're still going to output more. So let me know what you guys think. Do you have any kind of evidence that suggests that RNG favors, those spending more money or not? Have you been blessed where you're getting back-to-back shinies? Let me know in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe. Next video we'll have more on the shiny Viper, Zangoose, the Mime Jr. that's making people a little rattled because it's not in their region. We'll talk more about that next video. Other Yellow Hat Guy out.